Hi guys, Black here. This is week 2 of looking for a house. So where am I now? No closer than I was last week. Okay. Guys, I'm going to try and explain this to you all. Okay. When I do business, whenever my business involves large sums of money, I try to avoid. Why? Because tend to not give you the respect that I deserve. Okay. Why? I guess a lack of class. Now, some people will say, Black, you're not right, man. You're generalizing. Guys, I'm speaking from experience. But you know what? I decided I'm gonna give them a chance. So I'm gonna give them a chance. So my real estate agent, okay, I qualify for the loan. Mortgage company. I qualify for the loan. I'm good for $200,000. Okay. The loan guy recommended this guy to me. Okay. He's like that. Little skinny, sexy, not really pretty, but skinny, young, sexy. I don't know how old he is. I mean, if I had to guess, I would say 25, 26. I don't know. I didn't ask. I wanted to ask, but I didn't ask. Anywho, he sent me 3 houses. Just 3 houses. So I'm like, okay, but maybe he's starting slow or whatever. First of all, I don't know that I tell you guys exactly what I'm looking for. I think I did, but just in case I didn't, I'm looking for a 3-bedroom house. I was looking for a 1-story 3-bedroom house with a 2-car garage in a pretty decent neighborhood. And I want the house to be somewhat new, okay? The houses he was sent, actually the first house I went to was the house I wanted. I mean, the very first house I went to, I wanted that house. It was in a quiet neighborhood. It was in Ellenwood, Georgia. You turned off a main road into the subdivision. You went down, you hung a right, and the house was on the left. It was called Upton Court, I think it was, in Ellenwood, Georgia. And it was a nice house. You know, I mean, I pulled into the driveway. It was flat ground. I wanted a little bit more land, but it was enough land. I was happy with the house. So I told him, hell, I want to see this house. He tells me the next day that, actually, I think he told me that night the house was under contract. So I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. So I went to another house that was also in Ellenwood. This house was slightly smaller, and it was in a neighborhood. First of all, it was in the subdivision, all the way in the back of the subdivision. That's something I hate. I hate, if I'm gonna live in the subdivision, I want it. I don't, okay, if it's a small subdivision, I don't mind living in the back. But man, I mean, this thing had like 3 or 4 turns. I'm talking about you had to walk probably a mile or 2 before you get out the subdivision. But anyway, that it was too small. I mean, the houses were extremely close together. I mean, you could not drive cars between the houses. That's how close they were. Also, the first house, I parked my F-150 in the driveway, and I could probably park another car. I mean, I could park another car behind my F-150. This house was no. You pull your car into the front of the garage, and there was no space behind you. So I was like, nah, that's not gonna work. So I went to the third house. The third house was also in Elmwood. It was 3 bedroom, had a 2-car garage. Slight bit uphill, but it wasn't a real big deal. I could deal with it. It wasn't, on the outside, the house wasn't as pretty as the first house or the second house. But I went inside and it was real nice on the inside. I mean, it was clean, it was nice. I didn't have a problem. I didn't have a problem with the inside. I actually liked the makeup of the house. I really did. Anywho, went into the garage and the garage was jacked up. It wasn't so much the garage, it was the air, what do you call it? The heater system or whatever. It looked like it was put in by some, I really didn't want a house like that. But I'm in a hurry. I'm ready to move out of this apartment. I'm ready to start parking my cars at one house. I'm ready to fix the transmission of my Trailblazer, okay? So I'm like, you know what, man, let me just go and get the house, get it over with, because I'm tired. I'm ready. I don't like long situations, okay? The guys wanted $185,000 for this house. The first house, I think they wanted $195,000. It was worth it. This house, not so much. So I told them tell them I give them $180,000 for the house, or they could fix the air conditioning thing. I didn't even turn it on. I don't know whether it worked or didn't. It was just ugly, man. It just looked like bootleg. They tried to make it look presentable, but it still looked bootleg. It still looked low class. You wouldn't have found this on Build My House, or put it that way. So he tells me that owner of the house took another offer. So I'm like, okay, man, whatever. So now, every house after that he gave me looked like pieces. No, I'm not gonna say it looked like crap. It was just they was asking. They really wasn't worth a lot. You know, it wasn't what I wanted. There wasn't enough land. Houses too close. There was one house, man. I'm gonna tell you something these people are doing. Do not agree to buy a house before you go look at the house. Yeah, I know. But what I'm saying is this. They are finding ways to cheat with the photograph. I mean, I don't know how they do it, but there was this house. This house looked like it was huge. Okay? It was a 4-bedroom house. It had a 2-car garage. It looked like a beautiful neighborhood. It looked like it was a lot of land. Some kind of way they tricked the photograph, guys. I go to the house. This house was also in Elmwood. I think it was 185, 195,000, something. I forgot what it was. Man, it was just like the second house. You had to go into a subdivision. And first of all, when I turned into this subdivision, I saw how closely the houses were. And I'm like, nah, this can't be my house. Nah, this can't be my house. I go all the way to the back. Again, it was in the back. Dead end, a cul-de-sac, as they say. And if I hadn't looked at the mailbox, I would not have recognized the house. I wish I could show you the picture of this house. I mean, on a photograph, it looked like a huge house. In real life, and then again, you can't pull a car between the two houses. You can't pull a car between them. And I'm like, this is not gonna work. Okay, now this same house, I left out the good part. This same house, I had to find it myself, because he keep trying to give me houses that look like somebody bought them and remodeled the house. You know, that's what the house would look like. You know, I'm no expert when it comes to houses, but guys, I've been around for a minute, you know? So anyway, he keeps showing me houses like that. You know, I mean, they like 155,000, 165,000, 175,000. And he's like, oh, it's a really good value. Dude, I don't want no house that looked like it was remodeled. Okay? So I find this house myself, okay? And I tell him, I send him a picture of the house and the address. And he can't find it. But yet I sent the same picture to two other people I know. And they Googled the number and they found the house, no problem. Both people. And they were not real estate agents. Anyway, he can't find a house. I got to tell him where the house is. Okay. So then he tells me, well, he's going to call and get an appointment to see the house. Okay. Several hours later, he texts me back and says that they haven't called. Well, no, I'm sorry. Like 30 minutes later, he texts me back and said, you have a 3:30 appointment. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. About 3 o'clock, he calls me and tells me that the people hadn't called him back yet. And he's going to have to probably reschedule. And I'm like, you know what? That's it, dude. I text him. I was like, man, thank you very much for your time. I want to go with another realtor. You know. And a few minutes later, he texted me back and said, you know, good luck or something like that. I don't remember the exact word, but it wasn't nothing ugly. So I was kind of surprised. I think he'll ask why. But what I think is going on is this, guys. I believe he knows. I believe he's pushing houses. He knows somebody that has bought houses, remodeled houses, and he's trying to get me to buy those houses. I don't want those houses. I want houses these houses, I mean, they're not bad houses. They're real small. They old houses like 1976. One was a 1975, 1980. They old houses, and they got fresh paint on. They're not bad looking houses. It's just they old looking houses, and I don't want an old looking house. It's funny. It's like when I look at a house, I see new stuff inside the house. I mean, new age stuff like glass shower doors. He got old stuff. It's just old stuff, guys. And I just, like I said, I believe he's trying to push houses to me that, like I said, renovate the house. That's what I believe he kept trying to do to me. And I'm like, dude, my loan, I can get a $200,000 house, okay? Why are you trying to push $165,000 house, $155,000 house, $175,000 house? I'm not trying to save money. I'm trying to get the best house I can afford with a 2-car garage. I want at least 3 bedrooms. Even though I live alone, I want 3 bedrooms. I don't have to have 4. I prefer 3. Now, if the house has 4, I'll take it, but I would prefer 3. But anyway, so my coworker, a nun, she told me a long time ago, oh, by the way, she's a lesbian. She told me a long time ago that I should talk to some friends of hers who are gay. And she was telling me they'll treat me right. I've never dealt with gay people before, and openly gay people before, dealing with stuff like this. So I like to try it. Only thing about it, they can't do anything this weekend. He can't do anything until next weekend. Well, hopefully I won't have a problem with him giving me renovated houses. Hopefully, I'll let y'all know how it turned out. That's about all I got to say. My video where I got stopped by the cop and asked for ID at the roadblock. In that video, I showed you all the house on the right. Now, the reason I didn't stop was because I drove past the house before I realized where the house was. And I saw the man in the front yard and his pickup truck was blocking the driveway anyway. So I didn't even turn around and go. I ain't like that neighborhood. I don't want to buy. I mean, I'm going to be gone for weeks at a time. I mean, not for weeks. I'm going to be gone for 4 or 5 days. I don't want a house sit all by itself. I mean, there was no houses in the front, and I don't want a house on the main street. Anyway, I want a house off the main street. I want neighbors around me. You know, people I can get to know, even though I'm most likely they won't like me, but still they'll get to know me and they'll want to watch my house where I'm gone rather. His house, there's no one in front of me. There's no one on the right side of me. It's just woods. I don't want a house like. No, I'm not afraid of the boogeyman. I want neighbors. Anyway, that's all I got to say on this subject.